Yo, we are back from a work shift overnight, getting back home, getting back to another day filled with opportunity, man. Let's go and get to it, man. So today I got a couple of things lined up in a city or three over, so it's going to be a little bit of work to be done there. Going to go back home, gonna get something to eat, make some breakfast, ideally, whatever is available at this point, it's whatever is there. Weight loss becomes realistic to attain when you understand these things. All right. What makes weight loss so difficult for the average man is because one, there's no structure, and two, which I'm going to get into the latter of the video, we want to talk about structure. What makes having structure, you could say a routine, so consistent, so fluid, is it allows you to stay focused on a day-to-day basis. And if you don't like consistency, then, well, you're not going to see the best results, optimal results in your fitness endeavor, which is why I'm so gung-ho on having some sort of structure, whether it's having a routine consistently in the AM, whether it's having some sort of routine I do. It can be something very so simple. It's nothing too far-fetched or too out there. It's just something that gets my mind, my body into a flow state, into doing something small, stacking up minor wins, and getting that done throughout my day. Which, in the same time, usually every morning, it builds into my routine and it builds into my way of life. I usually work out in the mornings because it's a very simple win. You go to the gym in the morning, you knock it out, boom, you're done. You don't have to think about getting it in the middle of the night or later at night. You don't need to think about it. It's just all about the consistency, all about the structure, all about having balance and some form of plan attached to it. It makes it go realistic to attain. It makes it go fluid to reach, to realize. And that's what weight loss is all about. If you can understand these things, man, and just be so consistent about it in a way where it does not knock you down, you've won. You've won. And that's where you ought to be in your journey. You want to be able to show up a relentless number of times to where it seems like showing up it's a very simple thing for you. Going to the gym or even working out at home is something very difficult for a lot of people. They find that, here's the thing, when there's a low barrier to entry, usually you would think it would make things easier to commit to, easier to accomplish. Like, for example, if you have workout equipment at home, and normally you would think it would be easier to work out and get the workout done. And in most cases, it normally is. However, if you actually think about that, if something is a lot more accessible to most people, why do people still not work out? I don't really think about that. Versus individuals or people who have no equipment at home, they would have to go to a gym. And there's also another barrier to entry, them having to drive to go to the gym. Now, you gotta really think about these things. What makes it so difficult for the average individual to not show up in his or her fitness journey? And what it boils down to is just commitment. If you're not committed towards the process, you can't really be committed towards much. And knowing that is a very difficult situation to be in. And for me, I take pride in putting myself into the right optimal scenarios, situations, environments that I can, so I can thrive and make the most out of everything. A lot of you don't make the most out of everything, out of every opportunity, and that's why you see minimal or subpar results in your fitness journey. You don't lose fat, you don't lose weight. You're still in the same fat, skinny physique body you've been in since last year. If you're looking to make changes that last a lifetime, you need to have structure. The second thing we're diving into, all right, is adherence, in which it follows up into commitment. If you have no adherence towards a meal plan, towards what you do in your day-to-day, you're not going to win. You're not going to see above average results. You're not going to realize your physique. Matter of fact, you may still be stuck in where you were from last year, even possibly now, because there is no adherence. At avfair.com. Adherence is the pillar. If you have a meal plan, you have to stick to it. It's non-negotiable. We don't play with these things. You got a meal plan, stick to it. You got a certain you got a certain fluid intake you have to meet to hydrate. All right. In the mornings, go do it. Got to knock out 30 grams of protein in the morning, go do it. The worst thing you can do is delegate and wait on these things. These things that are very simple, very overlooked. It can make the world of a difference towards helping you meet your goal. If the first thing you did in the morning was hydrate with water, instead of you telling yourself that you're hungry, you hydrate with water. Because the more you fill yourself up before you have your first meal, it tends to have an effect on how much you eat. So it's a way to limit how much calories you consume in the morning. It's a way to go about reaching your deficit, reaching your goals, and with no barrier to entry. You got to understand these things, man. It's very important to realize, very important to understand. And if there's no adherence, there's no awareness to these things, like, it makes the goal so much difficult, bro. It makes it so much difficult. Like, when there's so much barriers to entry, so many challenges that men face within their fitness journey, it makes, like, resisting to do anything extraordinarily high. The percentage of resistance to not do anything, to do nothing, I should say, it's high. It's very high for most men, and that's why there's no results. There's no accountability. There's no gap. There's no awareness. There's no consistency, and that becomes problematic. Because if there's no consistency, bro, like what else do you have? You don't really have much to go off on, other than the fact that you're starting, and starting is better than nothing. Sure, it's better to start than not to. The goal point isn't just to start, it's to develop the level of awareness needed so you can position yourself to win, to conquer in your fitness journey. And you do that by walking. You do that by tracking your macros. You do that by showing up in your routine. Third and final thing, man, accountability. If there's no accountability to do what you need to do every single day, regardless of your emotions or regardless of how you feel, be prepared for a body, a physique that is not ideal, that is not what you want, that probably would make you miserable, even more so than now, because you've put off your goals off for the past year, thinking that there was never a perfect time to go and start. If there's no accountability to hold yourself to a degree, to a standard, to meet the demands of where you need to be, you're not going to realize the physique. You're not going to reach your goals. You're definitely not going to see anything. If anything, you may see a lot of weight gain, misery. All that can be fixed if you have yourself accountable every single day to doing what you needed to do. All right. It's a very small, simple thing. Again, it's overlooked for a myriad of reasons. Don't be the guy that puts off his fitness goals because life got in the way. And most definitely do not be the guy that puts off his fitness goals because there was never the perfect time. There was never the perfect time for me to post content. I realized that in 2022, and I pulled the trigger and started posting. Why? Because I knew there was not a perfect time for it. And the same thing can be said for you on a fitness journey. There is never the perfect time to start. And the longer you wait, it's the longer you're going to not realize your goals and stay fat, skinny. If you don't want that to be you, show up for yourself in the highest degree you possibly can. If you can do that, if you can amount to doing that much consistently, you realize your goals and you get into the best shape of your entire life. All right, that's it. Go follow, go subscribe down to this YouTube page for content that will help you realize a calorie deficit and lose weight.